conclusion that we did have a process in place that meets our needs, and that our main goal is going to be to focus on the permanent selection, which we've begun already. We can talk about it a little bit later in our agenda. But I just wanted to emphasize that thank those that have stepped forward for such an important position. Being in law enforcement, that's not an easy goal. I mean, we've seen it. We see it all across the country. We see it in our own jurisdiction. We see it here with HPD. So we're very appreciative of the fact that you prepared, you put yourself out there, and you helped us through this process. So we can think through the best path forward. So thank you very much for that. Okay? So we got that together, right? Okay, moving on in our discussion. Oh, before we move on. Chief Vanic, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for stepping forward.
And we look forward in working with you during the interim process.
Interim Chief.
We know how dedicated you are and how talented you are as well. And we pledge that we'll do everything we can to help you and the department be successful. Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on in our agenda, item 5, acceptance of the minutes for the open session recess. Second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Moving on. Thank you. Okay, new business. HPD Chief of Police retirement. I think we've covered that. But we did have a question. So I think we're talking, so your last day of service is the end of this month, the 30th.
Right, but I have leave I have to use, and so that'll carry me over for a little bit, but my effective retirement date is 1 August.
1 August. Okay.
Oh, will you be present? Will you be present through 1 August?
No, I'm just saying that's by, so it's ERS rules, retirement system rules. I missed the July cutoff based on the time, I'll just leave it in our conversation with the mayor, to retire as of 1 July. Therefore, I kicked to the next month based on the rules.
But your last official day as police chief is when?
Right now it's July 15th.
Okay.
But I will be on leave for the entire.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Your last present date is July. Is it the present?
I'll be back to work July 15th to make sure I got everything done.
Okay, new business, item 2, ACLU letter regarding the DUI.
False DUI arrest.
Based on advice of Corporation Council, I'm not allowed to provide any of the information, but we are working based on things that we've already mentioned. It was things that were happening based on the allegations made, and so we're going to follow on that, but it's in litigation, so I can't speak for it.
Can I make a comment anyway?
Sure.
This is the issue that we'd like to discuss. So, when I was listening to it, I was pleased when you talked about it. I just had some questions about if these things, complaints went to, or maybe it's a comment, since you can't say anything to me. If these things went through the professional standards office, it seems like there should be a planned notice that there are several complaints that say I was arrested for OUII or whatever it is, DUI. And I lose 0.0 in my breathalyzer. It's just, it would be helpful if those kinds of trends were noted, because when we do our own adjudications, we notice trends. We will, comment on, body worn camera or other things. And if it's helpful to have the police commission look at a summary of professional standards office adjudications to see if we can help spot trends, then I laid out, and I understand they're just allegations, suggest to me that there could have been some identification that was going on at some point. And maybe that was an issue that kept coming up. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on in our agenda, new business item 3. Selection process for the hiring of HPD Chief of Police. That's for the permanent. So, we had been through this 3 years ago. We would like to think we can learn from our mistakes, and not that they're mistakes, but if we can have a more streamlined process, we want to try to do that. In anticipation of what is upcoming, we had proactively reached out to a couple of the city departments just to look at process-wise. So thank you to HR. They had met with myself and Commissioner Foster. We began a dialogue. We asked for them to assign a point of contact for us so that we could expedite as quickly as possible, understand the process. And then just yesterday, we met with Budget and Fiscal Services. They're the ones that are going to help us with the procurement to get a consultant. And no laughing allowed. And so we want to understand that process, and if we can streamline that in any way, we want to take advantage of that. So that's kind of where we are with it. And then just for clarity, we understand how important that there will be a ton of scrutiny on this. So we'll be reporting this on a regular basis at all of our meetings.
Can I say one thing, though?
Sure.
Because I remember that we came under some fire the last time for hiring a search firm.
Sure.
And there were people who felt like we should have been able to do this ourselves. And I just wanted to note that we are volunteers with other things to do. This is a large police department, 10th largest or 11th largest in the country. We have a lot of applicants, and that search firm was super helpful in that process and super helpful. It would be very, very onerous and probably time consuming for all of us to try and look through all of the applicants and whittle them down and go through the very painstaking process that the search firm did. And I just feel like we have to explain, we have this opportunity to show people who are watching why we are hiring a search firm. I just think that's the right thing to do. I think in the long run it will be a lot faster and a lot cleaner. We also had dossiers on people that were very, very thorough, that we were able to look at that, I just think that firm did a good job, and I appreciated having that.
After looking into a little bit, there are search firms that just searches, maybe 4 to 5 years, and they're very good at it, they have a process.
Here's my major signature.
And so I would agree with that. So just go from that, I went back and looked at, last time, just to make sure that we're addressing the concerns of last time. It took 7 months for the procurement. Once the procurement was complete, we did it in 5 months.
So a year and 12 months. 7 months, huh? That's a year.
I think some of the other feedback we got last time was, who did we involve in the search criteria and things like that. The one that sticks out in my mind is Shelby. So I definitely would want to talk to them about making, it is feedback that we made. We were criticized for not having involved them last time. So there's definitely things that we're going to learn from.
Yeah, and if I may, I think it also would be great to see if we could survey the rank and file in some way. Maybe for attributes or traits or, to some degree, we're going to be looking for what the department needs right now, in addition to the long term, right?
So, I think last time the search firm did the community survey as part of their work, so they did it within those 5 months.
But they didn't do the rank and file?
No, they included it. I'm pretty sure they did that.
All right. Moving on in our agenda, going to item 7, old business, Chief of Police Performance Evaluation. So just an update. We are having ongoing interviews. We have been doing interviews already. And the idea is to hopefully complete So even from folks that I know, they would say, why are you doing an evaluation for a chief that is exiting soon? I said, you know, the work of the police department doesn't end just because a body moves, right? The good work that was done by the administration continues on. We are evaluating process as well as person. So, as an example, the strategic plan is the body of work that provides direction for the agency. So part of the evaluation is to see how the administration has accomplished the things that they had wanted to do over a given time span. And that's part of our evaluation. And then even when we do our interviews, we tweak the questions that are being asked at the same time, because now we're looking at the traits and the characteristics and the attributes that we should be looking for in an upcoming chief. So there's still value to all of that. And we want to complete that process. And just to be, forthright, we were kind of dinged previously when we didn't do an evaluation when we had an interim chief. And so we want to make sure we close that loop and have the evaluation.
And actually, to the extent that the new interim chief is part of the deputy chief for this performance evaluation, honestly, it's kind of an evaluation of the interim chief. So, all good.
All right. Item 8, Executive Officer's Report on the status of investigations. Jim?
Thank you, Chair. As of the 17th of June, we've received a total of 54 registered complaints. Of the 54, 30 remain pending. Of the 30 that are pending, 19 are over the 2-month period of completion. For the total of 119 for 2024, 23 remain pending, and the 4 of us are trying our best to complete these cases quickly and thoroughly as possible. The monthly breakdown for the past 3 months: March we have 17, April 15, 11 for May, and 4 so far for June. This completes my status of investigation.
Any questions for the executive officer? All right. So that completes open session for now. We're going to be moving into executive session, but before we do that, I know the press wanted an opportunity to speak to the chief or myself or whoever.
I think that's after you gavel up,
Are we still there?
or whatever, after, are we out? We're
Yeah,
out.
we're-
Okay.
yeah.
There you go. We'll take a recess.
Yeah, moving into executive session.
Yeah, recess
I
and
know,
Well, why is your phone on there then?
it's just I like it.
we need poi. We need some poi.
Make the sound.
We can't have poi party, no poi. We're doing it outside? We're doing it outside. Okay. Because we're gonna go outside. Yeah, we do it outside. Yeah, in space. Oh, watch out! Watch out the cable. Yeah, the camera. Ooh, cable's gonna get you. Oh, I wanted to thank you and appreciate you guys'
Too many people.
I like what you do. All that
Is Tony gonna? I'll come out there.
Time to go back out. So we're going to interview Chief Joe Logan, definitely Deputy Chief Vanic, who's our temporary interim chief. He wants to be the permanent chief. So we heard everyone go through, so we're going to go outside, get the interviews for all of you. We won't be the only one. And we had a lot of people apply for this. And we're just going to prepare for outside. Look at the hard-working media guys that people forget. We've been here since 2 o'clock. It's 4:56, 3 hours. How much cable they got involved? The batteries and everything. Everyone coming in. Interim chief, we're going to go outside. Too tight in there. Thank you, brother. And I love your honest report. You busted all the paperwork.
I tried to.
I'm trying to get forward.
I told them where to look, but apparently nobody's gone over there.
Right. Are we doing this outside?
Right. Go outside.
Yeah, we'll go outside. It's too tight in here.
High tech, cybersecurity.
Hey, we're filming outside. Okay, it's too tight in here. I don't want to give you guys more room and space. Hello, guys. Welcome back. You guys got a new interim chief. Vanic. Yeah, they just made the decision. Yeah, Vanic should be his new interim chief. They stay inside the commissioner's meeting. We're going to do an interview. Vanic, the bigger guy, he's the interim chief with the most years. Joe and them are going to come out, and I don't know where everyone's going to set up. I'm sorry, it was a long day. You were standing, you were leaning on the wall. I see you leaning on the wall like that. Huh? Oh, shit. Oh, I'll go in the background then. So we're going to set up somewhere to get Joe Logan and the chief somewhere. What do you guys think we should have the chief? Can we do it all here? In the space? I think over here. I think if we get him right here, we should be okay. Is they going to peel him up? Lighting's better here. It's kind of dark. Yeah, Vanic's the new the chief, and then they're coming out, Joe. Yeah. And we have congratulations. We have look at our handsome guy right here, Mr. Vanic. He helps with city council. We have the guy with the presentation. Smart guy. Prepare for interviews with everyone here. We got the whole media crew here. Everyone. We're actually working together. There's a bill for it. I guess you know what? Pikachu won because Benjamin Moskowitz ain't becoming the Honolulu Chief. Stay in big eye. Handle that shit.
Well, maybe, Chief, your reaction to what played out today, because for a lot of the candidates and, commission took the direction, and here you are. Your reaction?
I think first of all, I'd like to thank the commission for having me today and all the honors that they chose me. I'd also like to thank Chief Logan for big shoes to fill. But I think most of all, I'd like to thank the officers, all of their hard work. It's not an easy job. It's a commitment to quality. They put their lives on the line every single day. And for the commission that they made committed officers and civilians that come to work every single day, it's a real honor. Like I said, it's a tough job. It's not easy. But I think I'm up to the task. I think what I learned the last time is it's a team effort. It's not something that I can do on my own. Not only that, but I really need not just the help of the police department and the sports, but
on their uniforms, get out there, circle a little bit. And the night shift, they start at 6, so I'm here till well after that. So I see them, they're off. They're there to circle the public. Well, the shift, and make sure that they're out there. So it's pretty long days, but I think I'm up for the challenge, and I want to make sure that I'm doing my best to help serve the community.
You came very prepared.
That's the way I roll, you know. I think, but that's just an example of what I think most of our officers do. You know, one of the messages that I tell to our officers in the recruit classes coming out is, you know, work hard, take pride in what you do, and treat people with respect. That's kind of my mantra. And I hope that the officers they take that to heart. And you know, a lot of our officers, that's what they do. They go out there, they help people, they help the community, they work hard, they do take pride in what they do. That's what I want to be known as. I want our officers, I want our department to be known as the highest level of professionalism. And you know, I think as interim, that's what I'll continue to profess to our officers.
One thing the Commissioner Shelby brought up was the person holding the interim position having said that you are interested in the permanent position would already have a leg up, would already have an advantage. Although, considering your interim last time and you didn't get the job, I believe you applied for it last time, but you know, what's your thoughts on that?
Things are a little bit different now. Last time I think I had 22 years in the department. I mean 25 years last November. So things are a little bit different. I'm a little bit different place in my life now. But you know, I'm not looking at whether I'm going to apply. Right now, I'm just focused on getting the job done. There's a lot of things that need to be done. You know, our vacancy numbers. You know, that's right now it's pretty high. But so one of the first things I want to do is focus on getting those numbers down. I keep on saying I'm a very strong proponent of we shouldn't be focusing on the vacancies. We really should be focusing on our strengths. Because really, I could cut out all of the vacancy numbers tomorrow and say, okay, we don't have 200 vacancies anymore. But did I really just make our department stronger? Not really, right? Because we still have the same number of officers out on the road. It's really focusing on how many officers we have out there right now and what are we doing with those officers, providing them with good equipment so that they can do their jobs better and more safely, using the money that we have for those vacant positions and utilizing it correctly. So there's a lot of things that we can do, and those are the things I think as interim that's my responsibility along with my senior staff, along with input from the union, input from the city council, input from the mayor and the staff, making sure that we all work together to do the best job that we can at providing excellent service to the community. That's what our job is, keeping them safe. And yeah, that's what I can do as interim.
What is the minimum amount of time you'll be?
Did you want to hear from Chair Bennett? I just want to make sure to see.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take one more question.
What's the minimum amount of time you'll be on the job? A lot of people felt Moskowitz was the front runner. What do you plan to do in week one?
You know, I don't want to do too much. I think that's one of the reasons why. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to do too much different. I don't want to come in and just upheave everything. I do want to create some type of stability. So I was keen as the Deputy Chief making sure that the strategic plan was going smoothly. I think that's one of the reasons and how you heard the commission say that they selected me, is they think that as far as strategic plan goes, we're doing a good job. And by selecting me, that I can ensure that we continue to do the job. So one of the things I'd like to do is continue to make sure that we're moving the strategic plan forward. Of course, I'm not a placeholder, not at all. I want to make sure that we're moving forward initiatives, new initiatives. I think in my 5-minute speech to the commission, I did talk about some things. For example, I know the media is very interested in radio communications. That's definitely one thing, according to a recent bill that was passed by City Council, that we're definitely taking a look at. And that's just one of the things. So definitely in the next week, in the next month, in the next months coming up, one of those things will be radio communications, even our the task force. I'll personally be involved in that thing so that we can make sure that we get the best service that we can provide to the community.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Good job. started in Oahu.
Extra exclusive. Robert?
No. Neighborhood security watch is completely free. Yeah, and if you're willing to actually start something up, they'll help you start We're actually looking for people to start those
Retirement! Barbecue time!
Yeah, there's three of us over here. Quite a few of us in the
Good. All right, Chief. Well, this was your last police commission meeting.
Yeah. It was an exciting one too.
Yeah. What do you think of the process? I mean, well, let's go backwards a little bit. One thing that gets asked, maybe you've addressed it, maybe you haven't, but the circumstances of your departure. Can you discuss that? Is this something that you wanted to do? Is this something that you were given a nudge? How would you characterize it?
Right now, I'm not going to discuss the conversation and what led to the point in time of my retirement is one of those things that comes around every so often. This will be my second time retiring. I did a number of years ago retired in 2000 just before COVID. I'm not one that loves retirement. I failed the first time, but I will try this again. You know, a lot of people ask me, what are you going to do now that your retirement's coming? And my number one answer is whatever my wife asks me to do. So that's my goal, is to take care of. We've got things around the house we want to do. We've got we used to go to the beach all the time the last time I retired and do some other things that her and I spend time with. So that's my goal right now, is to have time with her, do some things around the house, and probably play a lot more golf than I've been able to play over the last 3 years. That's really what things are coming up to.
What are your achievements? What are your regrets?
So like I said in there, I think it's just keep the profession. Crime is down 20% overall the last 5 years. Yes, we have some anomalies. We have some things like homicides and or attempted murders that are probably on a slight rise, and then some sex offenses of maybe a 6% increase, which is not a lot statistically in the numbers, but if you're a victim, it's a lot. And so, everyone that's a survivor, a sex assault, a victim, if they're involved, unfortunately, the victim of a sex assault. And so prosecuting those are good. We have very good, our criminal investigation division does very well at solving cases. We can get better. And so that's one of the things. We're recruiting very well, recruiting solid people into the department. Like I said, the next class coming in, when I first started, we were in the teens, then we got into the 20s, and now we're into the 30s. So that is a trend that's working. It took a number of years. It's still probably going to take us another couple of years. I know when I was in the National Guard running parts of that, and you never shut off leaders when it comes to recruiting, because once you do that, it takes years to recruit and get back to where you were. So COVID kind of put a slump in things. There were some other events that happened probably in the last decade that created either societies, the way they look at law enforcement as a career, the way there's some anti-police rhetoric that's out there. And so it's kind of changed the mindset. And then, oh, by the way, there's this whole new technology of the internet and people making e-commerce online. And so perhaps they want to try that. If those objects don't work for you, and you want to come to a brick and mortar kind of thing where you come to work every day, your car is your office, and the Honolulu Police Department is the place to be. And a number of civilian jobs. We're doing very well with the universities, with our engineers, both in uniform and outside in our sciences, in our scientific investigative section, and so we're working through all of that. We also have community colleges working with our vehicle maintenance and our radio technicians. So there's a lot of interrelationships and collaboration with our universities. So that's working well. So I'm really excited for Ronnie. He's done this before when I came in, and I kept him on as a deputy for me to run the administrative side because one, he's intelligent, he knows what he's doing, he's been here for 25 years. He knows what happens on the fourth floor and how that operates as far as administration is concerned. So my hat's off to Roddy, all the best to him in the future. My last day right now is looking at the 15th of July. I have some news leave. I'm going to be in the office for the chief in some of those times here in August. And so working through that and working through DRS as important. The state environment system is something that I've got to make sure I keep on the dates and a little over, so I have Medicare I've got to sign up for and some other things. And so all that plays in. So how do I make sure the plan is covered medically when I not stay to the day I officially retire? Now I do have some retirements from old. I'm retired from the city and state before, so those got to kick in also. And so there's just a number of things that come.
On the overflow philosophy, which was the favorite, what are the most important qualifications for someone who's fit to replace you for the permanent position as chief?
Somebody who comes in to their department, knowing the department has ideas and concepts of what they want. I think the strategic plan is there. If they continue to implement that or make whatever massage, whatever strategies they would like to do in the future, but the groundwork has already been laid. And I think the department's in a great position for whoever takes over to run with this department into the future and make it the great organization it is.
Any unfinished business that you want to get done?
There's a number of things I wanted to get done offhand. I'm still looking at recruiting. One of the other things is we started having senior leaders work with recruits in the recruit classes. Like I used to go out and do physical fitness for the recruits. I did police officer survival training with the recruits, and that way I get to know who's coming into the department, and they get to know the chief and the generation that's coming through now likes that being able to reach up and touch and say hello to the the senior leadership of the police department. And so I thought that it was a great opportunity for me to do that. I really enjoyed the recruits as they came in. And then I made my rounds throughout the department, a little difficult at best, because they try to keep you captured on the fourth floor to do your job as chief. So I'd like to get out and about to meet the men and women of the Honolulu Police Department, and I'll continue to do that until the day I finally leave. That's a decision that the police commission's got to make. My role in all of that is not really. I'd have to see who the full candidate selection committee are. I'd have to see who the final candidates are, and then take a look at what their qualities are. But like we said, like we saw earlier, there's a lot of great candidates that are there. And so, however, this pans out, maybe there'll be some people, maybe from the mainland, that might be interested, like there was 4 years ago when I first applied for this job. So there's I think you'll see a little bit different list of people coming in, and some people that are maybe chiefs that have retired or want to leave a current position they're at on the mainland might want to come here. Maybe you'll see other Rhode Island chiefs that are interested moving in like Vanic has done, and so it's just a wait and see really. But I think Hawaii is a unique it's a unique entity in that the Hawaiian culture permeates all of what we do, and so you really, whoever is the next chief, really has to be grounded with the Hawaiian.
I hope they speak Hawaiian.
Be able to work with all different types, the underrepresented communities, and then everyone else that's here in the islands. You've got to be a good person to understand how politics operates. Like me, I understand politics having worked at the state level. I don't like politics in general.
Neither do
I'm
I.
not someone who would ever run for office. But I understand what they do, and I give them kudos for who they are and what they do. But that's not my cup of tea. But you have to understand how that all operates. And then you want somebody who's, able to get things accomplished. But there are obstacles. There are things in the department, things in the city that create obstacles that we have to work through, get around, legally, ethically, morally through those obstacles that are out there, and then make the department a better place.
Are there more high schools that you'd like to see the police training program? Are there more high schools you want to see have a police training program?
Absolutely. So I had a long conversation with Tina, I actually from the Department of Education, and how can, he and I are on the same sheet of music talking about workforce development in our high schools, to any of the either first responders, police, fire, EMS, but also to the many other organizations that are out there. Right? We can't just pick on one because we have a very small group of individuals that one have to pass a background check, have to be physically fit. And so our criteria for getting into the department is a lot more stringent than most other organizations. Not that they don't do background checks and stuff, but you may not have to be physically fit to work in a private organization or another city and county or state agency than you would the Honolulu Police Department. So how do we develop this workforce development to get all of our high schools, to get all of the graduates prepared for a future in whatever they choose? And then you have the counselors there to help these kids identify where they need to go. I think what works best for them, or what fields psychologically maybe they go best into, which I know there are tests for that in your junior and senior year. And so how do we help the kids help themselves push in that direction if they're not going to go out?
One more question. The authority has always been with the police commission, but how do you feel that the commission didn't go with the mayor's suggestion or another?
Again, that's something between the police commission and the mayor's office and that decision. The police commission was created the day before the police chief position was created in 1932. There's a reason for that. And a lot of it is to take the politics out of a law enforcement agency. But not every city is like that. Some cities, they work for the mayor, some cities they work for managing director or another entity within the city confine. Some, like ours, work for police commissions throughout the mainland. So there's many different ways to do it. It's just what makes best for Hawaii. And politically, in 1932, they made those reasons. And then later on, I think in the 60s or 70s, there were other reasons why it was beneficial to keep it the way it was. If in fact the Charter Commission changes that or puts it on the ballot, then the public has the vote to make that decision for whatever the future is sometime in 27 or 28. Well, take care. Thanks for what you do every day. Thank you for keeping the public informed. Might not always get the answers you want. Good job. Joe! We gotta thank Joe. Let's do this.
Pencil man right here. We're gonna show to two double chiefs. Pikachu's word somehow affected it. We got our new guy inside right here. Chief Logan's going back in retirement. We have some couple interviews. They'll probably do a 6 o'clock live stream here with all the mainstream news. After interviews, Monica Civil B. She's in the news. So is everybody else here. We're finally all together. Yay! We have Carl Dix here. Any final words you'd like to say?
Well, I was very happy to see that police commission took to heart that the rules should be followed. They were headed down the wrong road and leaving out the union and the union agreements. And being a former Teamster union steward, I did advise a few of them to consider that, because if they had gone the way they were going, and I was a union steward, I would file the grievance immediately, because the unions are for the police officers, and it's already been negotiated, the process of the order of priorities and seniority and all that, and we did the right thing, and I'm glad to see that they did it.
All right, we've been here since 2 o'clock. It's 5:21, about almost 3.5 hours for the post-interview, interview, the meeting. You guys can see it. They will definitely make the news. I heard some people are already on the news. So even Tia was on the news because the camera was catching her angle. So from my angle, I'm capturing you in the background. You're definitely in it. He's on my live stream. So we're all in it. And he brought paperwork. He brought paperwork. We filed paperwork. We got a new chief. I didn't want the one from Big Island to come from Hilo to tell us what to do. Congratulations. It worked.
Yeah.
We did not pick up that punk because he wouldn't have done a good job. Now we got an internal one. We got Vanic. Did a great job with the presentation. You know, we're going to see how things flow.
And actually, the new chief, I talked to him several times during the town halls. And I think he's a really good guy. He's done this before.
Nice, kind heart. 25 years.
Yeah, and he's been the temporary chief before. So
Yes.
he's got experience. He's a little bit older. He's a little bit wiser. And yeah, Joe's a really good guy. So there we go.
He actually brought a whole presentation in color. I didn't ask him where they printed it because you have to pay for ink. You have to pay for color. But they brought this out. Had it. This was his presentation. He gave the whole thing. And that's how he won. He presented to every single person and the media. And he read everything line by line. Nice and simple. And I believe that's what helped him won the position today. It wasn't some bullshit. It wasn't some fluff. I've got 30 years experience. I've been in the FBI. I've been blah, 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 blah. No.
And I personally talked to him more than once, and he listened. And I gave him some key things to look for. HPD is a good group, but there's some areas that need some corrections, and we need to make it solid for everybody, fair for everybody, and everybody needs to follow the rules.
And now we got excluded with the chairman. Let's go back in.
The decision-making process was left to us, and we made a decision based on the recommendation that was
Why was Chief Vanic chosen? Why was Chief Vanic chosen? Is Deputy Chief Rade K have more years?
So what we were told was that you basically have a department, the only department in the city that has two deputies. Both of the deputies are of equal standing. And so we made a decision between the both of them. And basically, Chief Vanic has more experience as an interim chief, having served in that capacity for the previous go-round.
Mostly being trying to believe that Chief Logan was first down. Is there any accuracy to that?
You know, you have to speak with him. I really like working with Chief Logan. I have no experience with him. Every leader is going to have their shortcomings. And he was open to coaching and mentoring and everything. So that was a good thing.
I know that you guys were talking about the process of choosing the next permanent chief. You want to expedite the process, you want to streamline it. The commission dealt with a lot of backlash for how long it took the last time. So talk to us about how you guys are streamlining.
So what we did was we proactively reached out to a couple of agencies that are going to help us in the city, specifically human resources and budget and fiscal services. So we got a point of contact with having worked with the city ambassador, so I can help with that as well. But we're going to make sure that we stay on this. We're going to ask the administration for support, knowing that this is very important to hire.
Why is it important for you to hire a contractor in order to help you make that decision?
That's an interesting question. You know, we've been data. We don't have.
Sometimes the error is not an error. They just need to be media for whatever reasons for a while.
We had done
If we can get somebody acceptable,
other legislative departments on the West Coast. And there isn't a department that we were made aware of that had hired that didn't use that had to work.
Why?
The reason why is that someone internally has the expertise. You want to make sure that you get the best qualified candidates that are leaders, and it seems that that's the best process.
6730.
How long do you think the process is going to take?
It's $1 million question, right? So here, of course, we have our wish list. We'd like to see the process take 6 months at best.
I think that's a little hopeful, but we're hoping to meet that time frame.
Yeah, I noticed that as early about headway problems, but I think the process, the mayor having his own quote unquote recommendation maybe, and the commission, as we talked at the last meeting, said that the commission makes the decision. I guess that he.
Sure, absolutely, and we appreciate the position that the mayor is responsible for the safety of the city, and he employs different agencies like HPD to do it. But at the end of the day, the charter says that the commission is responsible for the hiring, the firing, and the evaluation.
Is there anything lacking in the fact that the candidates only had 5 minutes, even though there were cover letters on agenda and resumes?
It was a fluid process. What we didn't want to do was do a protracted hiring process for the interim. We did know that there was an existing process. When we had asked for a resume, we didn't know what the interest would be out there. What we had been told was that nationwide for these kind of positions, there's not a lot of interest. So we were very appreciative that 8 people stepped forward to put their names for consideration.
I think odds are favorable. We heard from the new chief today inside this building. And how long do you expect someone to stay in that job position? Hopefully permanently, but any expectation?
We were looking on the West Coast, like-sized departments I had mentioned earlier. And being in law enforcement, especially in major cities, is a very tough job. And then what makes it tougher is if it's tied to the political cycle too, then you have that ramification. But the job itself is difficult. So I don't know what the average tenure is for a major city chief, but I don't anticipate that it's very long. We need somebody that's going to be here for at least 5 years. The reality is to get your vision, to get your strategic plan in place, it's going to take you 3 years. We have imagine it's going to take another couple of years. So having some kind of continuity. Thank you. Thank you. I think that the mayor should be pushing forward whatever he thinks works best for the city. From his, his opinion and where he sits, he sees value in doing what he's doing. I'm not going to question that.
Do you think that weakens the ability of the commission?
I think that it changes the dynamic in that. I think that personally, I feel that in our jurisdiction, the way that it is now, it works. But we've been in that model for quite a while. It's always fair to look at how other jurisdictions are doing it, the pros and the cons.
So, official support or not support?
What I'm interested in is looking at what the data is telling us recently, because I really haven't thought about it for a while.
Sure. Cool. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Silva. It was a good, exciting meeting. Remember it was still this month. It was only 3 testimonies. Today we got a show. And here we're closing out. Almost 6 o'clock for their live. 5:30. We want to do a shout out to our other media crew here. KITV4. Jen's over here. Everybody out here. We're going to be bouncing. Let's close out this segment. We didn't get you on camera, so what are your thoughts about today's meeting?
It's interesting that they did follow the rules, actually. It's got to go through the charter and the union, and it did. So now it's got to find good candidates. That's really what they need, is good candidates. I really want to speak about starting the ESW, but I talked to other officers about it. And the new deputy chief, I talked to him about it.
It was pretty quick with Vanic. They need more manpower, resources,
absolutely.
volunteers.
Absolutely, more manpower. I encourage everybody, if you got teenage kids, whatever, get them to apply to the academy. It only took me a phone call for 6 days, and they wanted me. They broke me. Hopefully my son goes. So it was good. It was very informative. I didn't know about the charter.
So thank you all for watching. They have issues with city council. The budget was 121 million for fourth quarter. They spent 69 million. We have 51 million left.
Right.
I remember how much money is in the budget. $51 million.
Yep.
So in case they screw up, you can sue them in a lawsuit, take a percentage of it. They have the money. A lot of stuff is getting cut if we went through the budget thing, the proposal. So it's very informative. And what Chief Vanic did, Deputy Chief, how I believe he won the presentation, because he had actually a presentation. We go one by one to actually show them visually. It makes a lot of sense. It's very fluid. For interim chief, it's a good solid choice. The permanent position is going to come out maybe a year, because it's 7 months, last procurement, 5 months to fulfill the procurement. That's 7 plus 5 is 12, guys. That's a year. You heard the commissioner come here, but that was bullshit. The $1 million question is it took a year last year to take a 6 months minimum. We got a new temporary chief, but Doug Ching called it out. We don't get flabbergasted paper, do multiple changes, and let's look for a permanent one. And even though I like Rainy Barra to run for the office, I just saw him downstairs before. I didn't know he was running. A little nervous in the shakes, but got through, good experience. Still works for DOE, Department of Law Enforcement. He's number 3 with criminal investigations for statewide, not county. Honolulu only are big. We're talking about state. So Pikachu still working with state, federal, not state of Hawaii. Just to let you know, we're looking at other places. But we're going to chill out. We're going to relax now. You've seen Joe Akana, Kalea Akana. We had Tia out here, first time coming out. You can see her on camera, but she was on the news alongside of the wall behind Chief Joe Logan. I don't think she even saw the news yet. So it's pretty excited that we're all part of the news. We're all here in the mix. Any final words you want to say to our viewing audience?
Get some more people in HPD. That's it. I already know. I was going to testify. I have to wait 4 minutes to get dispatch to answer the phone after 911. Houston, we got a problem. And I didn't get to testify. I'll do it next time.
All right, so thank you all for watching. You can sign up at Ohana Unity Party. You can join our crew, do some cool stuff, be active in politics, judicial, wherever you feel your passion is. Hit us up on OhanaUnityParty.com. We're going to see you guys later. Chee-hoo!
Knees. happens around this time. We came around 9 o'clock and things just started going down, and 5 minutes later the thing just went off. Like, didn't even come back up.
Aheo ka ua I na pali ke nihi a ela I kana hele e hahai ana paha I kaliko pua ahihi lehua o uka aloha oi aloha e ke ona noho I ka lipo a fond embrace a hoia until we meet again. Aloha, oi. Aloha, oi. E ke ona noho I ka lipo. One fond embrace, a hoia until we meet again.